George Washington in Hamilton says, I know that we can win. I know that greatness lies in you, but remember from here on in, history has its eyes on you. History has its eyes on me. We are part of this moment in history. What are we going to choose to do with this time? Are we going to celebrate fitting in? Or are we going to celebrate belonging and oneness? So let's ground this all in some prayer. Let's take a moment to feel into the oneness that exists at the center of our being. Let's take a moment to remember who we are and whose we are. Let's take a moment to remember that at the center of who we are is the same center that exists within each and every human being, that we are all centers for spiritual living. And it is through communing with that center for spiritual living that we begin to feel the oneness that actually exists, not just as a concept, but as a reality in our life that is perhaps the truest truth of our being. And it is through that, as we look out the diversity of the ways in which this one thing has been expressed, that we begin to not seek sameness, but to seek and to value all of the different ways this thing called God is manifesting in the world. That we seek to combat the ways in which our brain struggles to make sense out of a world that, that is seeking to divide us, right? That is seeking to divide in our minds. When we come to a moment where we recognize the oneness, so that division becomes a celebration, that which is different becomes the greatest gift to our lives. We know that each and every one of us is here on purpose and on time. And so what we do with this time, I know, is rooted in love, rooted in gravity, and I am helpless. We are helpless to that love. We are helpless to this love movement that is happening within each one of us. So what I know for us is that we give ourselves to that with that kind of reckless abandon, that kind of teenage love that just is helpless to the movement that brings more love, more life, more dignity to all. And so I celebrate all of the ways that this shows up both individually and collectively. I celebrate Oneness Center for Spiritual Living and all of the ways it is a force of love on this planet. I celebrate the spiritual path that we are all on. And most of all, perhaps I celebrate the healing that is happening in this moment. We can call all of this good because it truly is. We feel the healing happening right here in this moment within us and around us. And so we just let it be, and we let it become, and we let it be so. And so it is.